think this mic's working. Ray, can you test your mic?
This one is
Okay.
being tested as well, just like our patience.
All right. Uh, First of all, before we start, I did want to shout out. I'm drinking out of a Bookhouse Brewing beer glass. Ray is drinking out of a Noble
Yeah,
Beast.
still drink that noble beast. Looking for
Uh,
that sponsor.
these beers are both masthead, however,
Hmm.
so sponsor. We're definitely
Sponsor.
looking for sponsors. We love Cleveland-based companies, or we love all kinds of companies. Again, we are we are hacks with no integrity,
Yeah,
and we are open to sponsorship. We can be bought
absolutely.
by very high prices
High prices.
and beer. So shout out to Bookhouse, shout out to Noble Beast, shout out to Masthead. Who are some other local ones that we like?
But you said Bookhouse, Masthead, Noble Beast. I'm gonna shout out Midnight Owl
Midnight
on this
Owl.
east side. Um,
Let's do one more to get to five.
ooh, feel like now that's a lot of pressure. But just for
How
fun.
about Immigrant Son? That's in
Yeah,
West.
west side.
That's in Lakewood. Oh my God. This is Split Personalities. We are
So two.
episode two. We are a podcast hosted by twins who are again integrity
Integrity.
integrity less. How do you say that?
Integrity.
Yeah, but like, what is a synonym for someone who has lacks integrity?
Uh, Xtegrity.
Okay.
Integrity, Xtegrity.
Anyways, we're two twins in our mid to entering late 30s who got bored with their lives and decided to do what most hacks do. We started a podcast. So we are here in Cleveland Heights.
Cheers.
We're at my brother Ray's house. I'm Bob. We're your hosts, and we're going to stick with our childhoods. The first episode, for those of you, if there are those of you, we don't know that we even have an audience, but we're trying to hit subscribe. That's what all the YouTube people say. We're trying to get above 0 followers.
Yeah, give us those. Do we have a like on YouTube?
You hit
Then
a
you
like button,
subscribe.
you do both.
You can do both. There you
Yeah,
go.
you got to push our content for us because we're not great at it. We're hacked.
The algorithm hasn't found
We
us yet.
haven't even like we haven't even learned how to do video editing yet. That's going to be a whole nother process.
Yeah.
So we're sticking with our childhoods. Those of you who followed us in the first episode, way back when, aka last week,
Hmm.
we covered the 1986 Transformers movie. I surprised Ray with the Transformer, which he wasn't really surprised by because he assumed by reading surprise in the script that I bought a Transformer.
I'm surprised more by the box, especially like
The
they're
artwork's
just
pretty cool.
dying. Sorry, I'm looking at because it's sitting up there.
Yeah,
Oh, probably.
this was the this is Brawn and Ratchet. This was like the death scene.
Yeah, they're like dying on the box.
Yeah, they're dying on the box, which is pretty awesome. And there's like little laser things that we can attach to their chest to show that they were shot.
Oh,
Or you can actually put it in their gun. It fits in their gun too. So you can have them
yeah, like
shooting.
it. So he's a car, but his windshield is cracked because he just
Yeah.
got shot.
Well, he was shot through the chest,
Hmm.
and so his windshield's cracked, and then Braun was shot in the shoulder.
It's funny because he didn't even get a chance to like transform. He's,
And then there's the scene on the you can there's a little trifold scene on the ship, them getting shot.
oh, nice.
So, yeah, so I think we're gonna record a short video of this unboxing, and I'll just tag it on to the first episode. Um, but we are gonna stick with our childhoods today, and we are going to enter the world of Ray. Can you tell us?
Well, gaming, but specifically Resident Evil.
Resident Evil, that series that really kicked off survival horror. I mean, like
Right.
the genre kind of existed before Resident Evil, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't really know. We're not experts on any of this.
But can anyone say it was popular before Resident Evil?
I mean,
Was it horror game? Were horror games popular?
well, so Ray and I did in researching for this episode, we did watch some like YouTube videos. I wanted to shout him out. Maybe I'll put him like if we do a description in our YouTube video, maybe I'll throw him in there and links to his videos. But like we watched this dude who basically like ran through all the games and like the
Yeah.
story behind the games. But I think the interesting thing for Resident Evil 1 that he touches on is that the guy who created the original Resident Evil was inspired by Alone in the Dark.
Yeah, but the fixed cameras especially
Yeah.
because I think they were like considering doing like first person shooter.
He said had he not played Alone in the Dark, it would have been a first person
It would
shooter.
have been a totally different game. I
Right.
mean, the fixed camera changing almost like the fixed how, like when you enter, depending on what room you enter, the changing of perspective of the camera, but always being fixed, um, kind of makes the game. It's like an iconic part of the game.
Yeah, and it also kind of put the game ahead of its time in the sense that like they could pre-render the backgrounds.
Yeah,
Not that I guess you I again, we're not coders and I don't know nothing about making a video game, but I feel like the Resident Evil games always looked better than like their contemporary games. Like
yeah,
the gra even with the GameCube with the re-release of one, like that game looked like it could have been made 5 years ago.
yeah. No, it's still. I think it still holds up today. Like, and that is because the backgrounds are like,
Yeah, and so
aren't they
this
like essentially drawn backgrounds?
I don't know. Somebody in our audience could probably tell us,
Yeah, someone can tell us
educate
that.
us more. We're just here to talk about this
Yeah,
stuff casually. We
but
don't
it's
know anything about
looks
it.
beautiful. You know, however it's done, the rendered backgrounds, it's beautiful. I mean,
We
it
know
still
nothing
holds up
about what we're
today.
talking about, but it looks great.
Mhm.
So before, and we're gonna deal with the canonical trilogy, like the one, two, and three. I think we're gonna approach them in the order in which they, again, I watched a timeline video leading
Mhm.
up to this as research, and he approaches it as one, three, two, because parts of three happen before two, but then they
Mhm.
get out before Jill does. So like he
Right.
skips to two. He goes from one to three, goes to two, then back to three because the three ends after two, which really confused me when I was watching his timeline because I was like, initially I was thinking that three happens before two the entire time. Like the entire thing's events happen before two. And then I remember at the end when you're fighting Nemesis, you're like Williams that like
Yeah,
the
that's what I was gonna
dead
say. Is
corpse of
like they
Williams.
essentially happen like hours apart from one another, don't they?
Yeah. They
Maybe
three
even
they
like
literally
minutes
get out
apart. Like,
before the city's bombed.
yeah, wasn't the city bomb too when they're like riding the train out or something for
That's
two?
another thing I'm a little bit when we get to talking to two, I gotta share some of my
Anyways,
embarrassments.
you know for sure because of three, like when you are literally in the background scene, like William's body, who's the bad of two, is just lying there. Obviously, that means
Right.
two, the events or ending of two happens right before
Like
that.
two, they're going on the train and leaving there's this explosion that happens. Like I don't really I guess I don't entirely get the kill scene in Nemesis because like William was like this weird amalgamation and he wasn't like it almost looks like the dead body in three when you're fighting Nemesis at the end. It looks like a tyrant more than it looks like what William was in the train.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I don't really
I don't,
understand.
I don't know either.
Like
Anyways, we're like,
we get in the weeds too early on this. But okay, so before we talk about one, I feel like we kind of need to talk about what leads into the series.
mhm,
So And some of this takes us to the most recent release, I believe. I've not played this, so again, we're like talking about stuff we don't entirely know.
mhm,
But in Resident Evil 8, The Village takes place, I believe, where Spencer meets Mother Miranda. Mother Miranda is the individual who inspires Spencer. Spencer's the guy who eventually creates Umbrella. But Mother Miranda, in the early 20th century, finds this like she's in Eastern Europe. It's not even explained where in Eastern Europe, but she underneath her hometown, her city, she finds this like regenerative like fungus or something,
mhm.
and she starts doing experiments to try to revive her daughter, like to bring her daughter back to life. She lost her daughter during the Spanish flu.
Okay, yeah.
And so this is like post World War One, Spanish flu hits. She's mourning. She's like goes in the sewers to die or something,
Hmm.
and then she finds this like fungus or something like that's has regenerative elements, and she spends her time researching, trying to like bring her daughter back to life. Spencer, after World War II in the 50s, he's on this like expedition. He gets lost, and eventually he finds the village that Miranda lives in, meets her, learns about her research, and is inspired because he is sort of dejected after World War II.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't believe in humanity, so he wants to create an elevated form of humanity.
Hmm.
AKA like the tyrants. Like he wants to use what is eventually the T virus to inject into to create like this master. He's like almost kind of like Hitler. He like wants to create a master race of
Yeah.
people. Because he believes like in seeing two world wars happen on the European continent, he's like completely like humanity's done so. Like this is we gotta do something about this. Like we're just gonna keep being in endless wars and stuff. So Spencer meets Miranda, gets inspired, goes back to university. He's from England. He meets his eventual partners, Ashford and Marcus.
Hmm.
They learn about this, and I think this was in Resident Evil 6. There was like this flower
Yeah.
that they
Well, I think it was
pulled
in five.
was in 5. 5 and 6 were terrible, but
Yeah.
we're not even gonna bother with that. Honestly, a spoiler alert, I think 4 was an abomination. I know people love that game and that
Yeah.
started the over the shoulder thing, but like I don't even remember 4 and I don't remember liking the enemies that much. But
Yeah.
that's a tangent I don't want to get on right now. But just spoiler alert, 4 is the least of my favorite of
Hmm.
the original set of Resident Evil games. Um Okay, Spencer, Ashford, Marcus start Umbrella. They create the progenitor virus out of this
Yeah.
flower that they find in Africa. Marcus really likes to mess around with leeches, so he's like constantly experimenting with the progenitor and leeches.
Hmm.
Somehow that leads him to create the T virus.
Okay. Yeah. I was
S-
gonna say he was the one who created T-virus, right?
yeah, Ashford was off in Antarctica doing his own thing. He created like
He's
an
like the Code Veronica guy.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not going to get into Code Veronica, but it does tie into the start of the series. But uh
Growing up.
Ashford's off on his own in Antarctica. He's doing something that I feel like Spencer doesn't like because Spencer kills him. And
Yeah. Doesn't he inject him with progenitor
ejects him with Progenitor.
and like just kills him? Yeah.
And then Marcus somehow discovers the T virus through his experiments. However, Spencer shuts all that down and
Hmm.
brings his two young promising scientists to the mansion, Wesker and Burke.
Hmm.
Is it Burke? William Burke, right?
William
That sounds
Burke.
right.
Yeah, I think so. Birkin? Or
Birkin?
Birkin or Burke? I don't know.
Somebody will correct me. Those two students were initially working under Marcus. Spencer, I think, doesn't like that Marcus has his own thing going on in his own lab. It's
Or
the
like he's
umbrella.
like I think he is like just paranoid.
Yeah, he
Maybe
like
he
wants
wants
all the
like
control.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
all of his actions show that he wants Umbrella and all of its research to
Right. Like
fall
he like
directly under
basically
him.
like kills all his partners.
Yeah, right. So, spoiler alert, he kills Marcus. That
Yeah.
leads us into Zero. That was in the late 80s based on the timeline that this guy from GameStop talked
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. I'm gonna say like 80. He must have been 88 because they say like literally 10 years later,
Right.
which is like the events of Resident Evil 0 slash
So
1.
somehow it takes him 8 years like this because he gets killed in 88. He gets dumped in the sewage plant facility or something like that. And apparently nobody finds his body. Like maybe it's an Umbrella control plant or something. Everything in this town is controlled by Umbrella eventually.
Hmm.
Uh, and so 10 years later, after Marcus is killed, this leech has been eating his brain or something. Like he's been eaten on chomping his body or whatever, and he becomes this like monster or leech thing
Hmm.
that can turn into a human form and then shoot
Yeah, like
leeches out of his hand.
shapeshift and all that.
Yeah, so basically, the importance of talking about this before we get into 1, 2, and 3 is that the betrayal of Marcus and the subsequent like infection of Marcus leads to the outbreak of the T virus
Hmm.
because Marcus attacks a train that's controlled by Spencer, and he unleashes he unleashes a wave of
Yeah, isn't it
infection.
essentially like a train that goes like between their
Well,
facilities?
so Marcus's facility was closed down, but it was the Umbrella training facility. There are two labs. There's the Umbrella training facility that was shut down by Spencer, but that Marcus stayed. Like Spencer brought Wesker and Birkin to his lab under the mansion. He shut down. He was cutting Burton. Shit, what's his name? Uh, now I'm Marcus. He cut Marcus out.
Hmm.
But Marcus stayed back and just did his own, kept doing his own research at his shutdown facility, training facility,
Okay.
which is in Zero. That's where they go. Like they start on the
Is that where it
train.
ends?
I think so.
Yeah, probably.
Because well, it ends the final cut scene of Zero is uh Rebecca and Billy overlooking the mansion. Like she's gonna go down to the
Yeah.
mansion to meet up with Alpha Team. Rebecca's from Bravo Team. Zero's focused on the Bravo team.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna go meet up with Alpha Team who went to the mansion, whereas Billy's just gonna go fuck off. And he gives her a thumbs
Yeah,
up.
gonna go live his life because she's like not trying to get into Zero. Also, I find it like really funny. Billy's like a fugitive in the game. I always find it funny that he's wearing handcuffs the entire time.
Right.
Like he has
Nobody
one
could have caught
handcuff
that
that's
off him.
like, his hands are free, but like the one cuff is still on. It's like just dangling. I remember like vividly remember in like the final cut uh shot sequence where he's like he does the like mad mad Max, wait, not Mad Max Payne kind of dive and shoot move.
Does he dive and shoot? I thought he just like
Maybe he
the
didn't.
Magnum. I don't
I just
remember.
remember that. Anyways, he shoots with the Magnum and he's still wearing the cuffs. It's like the very end of the game. Somehow she must get
You
him
could
off.
you it's easy to mix these up because all these games end the same. Some facility or some town or something blows up.
Hmm.
They escape, but somebody like shot something with a Magnum. It's
Magnums
just
like are huge in these games. It's like
yeah.
the gun to have.
Well, I feel like that's like a sign of the times because like if you remember like in the 90s and early 2000s like the action movies, I feel like every action movie like Lethal Weapon or I don't know, name another action movie. Like somebody had a
Lethal
mag
Weapon too.
okay, Lethal Weapon. Somebody has a Magnum in that.
Yeah.
Like you would have these like weird obnoxious guns and attachments like Predator 2 like
Yeah, Predator too.
where they've got like these crazy attachments on these handguns.
Yeah, every gun in that movie has like insane like scope
Yeah, I'm
attachment.
like, this gun is huge and obnoxious. But that's kind of like Resident Evil. Somebody's shooting somebody with a big obnoxious gun because it's the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, and Resident Evil kind of like has this like B movie vibe to
Definitely
it.
the first one does.
Definitely the first one. I mean, speaking
It
of the
leans
first
into
one,
that.
should we get into the first one?
Okay, yeah. So,
Anyways, like Zero leads up to it's kind of like shoehorned kind of into the series. I mean, it's controversial. I love it. I know a lot of people don't. One sec. Okay, sorry, we're
okay. All
back.
right, we got interrupted. Race fans are getting a new flux capacitor.
Yeah, Flexipaster. We have
Gonna
like
drive those
friction
things.
over looking at Amazon's Broken Light. Anyways, where were we? Okay, so yeah, Zero is kind of shoehorned in there. Like I actually really love the game.
I knew. So the guy. So we watched videos in preparation for this to remind us about elements of these games, and I knew that when I watched the portion that covered Zero, that was going to offend you because this guy that we watched really didn't
Yeah, when he went hard, like even the title of his video is like basically just shitting on Zero.
F-Zero.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I do agree, like it is shoehorned to like kind of explain the outbreak in the mansion. But
Yeah,
anyways,
this guy Marcus is mad and seeking revenge.
anyways, we have to imagine we are in what was it July of
It's like the
1998?
ninth. Well, oh yeah, right. I'm getting my years
Or is
mixed.
it
The
June?
game was released in 96, but the events take place in 98, July
98,
98.
yes. So
Same with Zero. Zero is like 2 days or 1 or 2 days ahead of the mansion
right.
scene. Um,
So essentially there's like stuff going on in and around the outskirts
right. So
Raccoon
the
City.
setting is Raccoon City and the what's the name of the forest that's on the outskirts of the mansion's located in the
Ooh, I don't
forest.
know the name of the forest.
Oh, he mentions it
Spencer
begins with an
Forest.
A.
Spencer
Spencer's Forest.
Mansion located in Spencer Forest.
Spencer's Forest. He bought. He's really rich.
Yeah, he owns
Uh,
that.
it's something mountain.
He owns a
Begins
million
with an
acres.
A. So this mansion, which we find out later has a lab located underneath. Uh,
A ton of puzzles.
ton. Okay. So I was thinking about that too. How annoying would it be to live in this place? Like, think
How
about the
annoying
fact
would
that,
it be to work in it and accidentally get locked into somewhere?
well, like, I'm thinking about, like, Spencer, right? He's late for a meeting. He's trying to get down to the labs. He's got to meet with the top scientists. They've got some big breakthrough with the T virus, yada, yada, yada. He's talking to his wife and he's saying, Janice, yes, Spence. He calls him Spence. Uh, ha
Yeah,
ha
it's like, is this wiki?
have you seen my?
Is this wiki confirmed?
No, this is me. They have pet names, so she calls him Spence. Janice, have you seen my blue crystal? The one that goes in the tiger's eye? Yes, the one that goes in the tiger's eye. What other blue crystal is there?
Where's my shield key?
The shield. Okay, the crystal. We don't know where the crystal is. Shield key. Do you know where the shield key is? The one that goes to the corresponding shield door? Janice, I don't have time for this. I'm running late for this meeting as it is already.
What he needs is a master key.
So I'm just thinking this would be really annoying to live in this mansion because he's got all these secret doors,
Uh-huh.
which then goes correlates to the rest of the. I'm sorry, we have a dog jumping up here.
Sorry, this is Brew. It's my dog.
Which then corresponds to the rest of the games because the rest of the games must follow suit in like, okay, diamond key, diamond door, emerald key, emerald door, right? Um, Uh, so like I just like the practicality of living in this place would be infuriating.
Hmm.
Like you'd never be able to get to a meeting on time. Well, especially if you lost these things, right? Like they're like and plus like when you get to the mansion, all of this shit is like all over the place. So like who knows that he even remembers like where any of this was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so the architect actually that does play a role in the timeline because whoever the architect guy who creates this mansion and all these weird like caverns and passageways uh ends up getting killed too.
Hmm.
Him and his family are like invited to the property,
Yeah.
the Trevor family or something like
Yeah. Which
that.
is what I do love that about one is like the addition of this like lore with Lisa Trevor. Uh,
Okay, you tell me about Lisa Trevor because she all I remember is she was like she kind of looked like a Silent Hill character.
hmm.
And I remember in the R1 remake, she's in that game, and the dynamics of the Trevor family are introduced into that game. But he was essentially the architect. I feel like they had to throw that in there, like in the R1 remake, because they had to have an explanation as to who came up with this insane mansion
Hmm.
with these pathways, with these doors, with everything that's going on in this place. Like, who came up with this? Like, it was so insane that this had to be intentional.
Right. I think the addition of the Trevor family in the R1 remake was kind of an explanation as to why the heck is there a house like is this mansion that has all these secret rooms and puzzles and all that like it like they don't like bother to explain it in the original version, but essentially the Trevor family, I can't remember what her dad's name is. I only remember
It doesn't
the
matter.
daughter is Lisa Trevor and her dad is like,
She can't be killed, but she does try to kill herself.
yeah, so her dad is an architect. Must be
He
like
built the
a
mansion
bigwig
for Spencer.
architect. Built the mansion for Spencer. Spencer then is like, okay, like in his way, it's like, okay, well, like kill my partners, kill this guy who only like is the only other person who knows the
All he knows
secrets.
how to do is kill.
Yeah.
He's
He's
never
like,
been loved
nope, he's never been loved. Not even by Janice.
by
Um,
Janice.
kills the architect because the architect is the only other person who knows the secret layout of the mansion that he built. Um, So he invites the family over actually, and I can't remember the story. I think like the daughter and the mother go before the father, and by the time the father comes, like they're already locked up, and I think they've started experimenting on both the mother and daughter. And the father is able to, because he knows the layout of the house, hide in the house.
Oh,
Like
wait, but he is he not killed?
I think he somehow, if I remember correctly, he accidentally locks himself into a space like that he's not able to get out of. And
Oh,
he
so
basically
he like
starves to
starves
death.
or dies
And you
because he's
find like a
trapped.
journal of his. There's like in R1 remake, there is this weird portion of the game where you go through the graveyard with the death masks. And you unlock this like I feel like it was underground or something. Maybe I'm wrong. But this grave is unlocked and this creature comes out and it's like one of the first boss battles.
Okay.
And it's like basically a skeleton zombie.
Ray knows more about our like I guarantee you if and when we rank these, Ray's first one, I'm calling it right now, is going to
Yeah,
be R1 remake.
for sure.
But Ray of all of these, Ray knows more about one than I do because Ray played one
Oh yeah,
like
I played
obsessively.
over and over and over again.
Zero and one are like your playground.
Yeah, one is probably the one I played. One remake is one I probably played the most of. But anyways, one of the first bosses you battle is like this thing that comes out of a casket. And I think like this is never confirmed, I don't think in the games, but there's a lot of people who speculate that's probably the father in the Trevor family. That is the one in this tomb.
Oh,
Because you don't find his body
but somehow you so he
in the
does
place you find his journal.
so he was trapped that nobody could find him, but he still got infected.
I don't know. I
Well,
mean, it's never confirmed,
there's a
but
lot of
this
things that
family.
aren't explained.
You just like where his journal is, you never find his body.
Okay, cool. Um, okay, so one, pause. And we're back. Ray's flux capacitor is on order.
Yes, Amazon's gonna figure it out. They
Amazon's
just don't know yet.
Amazon out of the goodness of their heart, because we all
Mm.
know that Jeff Bezos is totally
Yep.
willing to like
He's a fan of the pod.
he's a fan of the pod
Huge fan.
sponsors.
Sponsors.
Jeff Bezos will take your money too. Uh, I don't know. We might have some ethics there,
I
but
mean, he's already taken my money. I'm
well, he's taken.
Prime
You know
subscriber.
what? Jeff Bezos has taken enough of our money. He can
Yes.
start giving back some of. He can start giving us some money of
Yeah.
his.
Yeah. Same with you, Elon.
Yeah, Elon. Don't doge
Don't
this
get a
podcast.
yeah, don't touch it.
We don't have any money anyways.
Um, okay, yeah, Trevor family.
Yeah.
Anyways, gonna move past the Trevor family. Let's get
Okay,
into
so one, characters. The two. So here's this is also like the shtick with a lot of these games. You get two characters, right? You
mhm.
can play, and we'll get into this with two, where I feel like I was sort of robbed of that game. But um, you could run through the game either as Chris Redfield or Jill. Personally, I always play with Jill. I feel like Jill was like
Same here.
was the playthrough. I feel like Chris was the secondary character of that game.
Yeah, and when I was watching like that YouTuber's retrospective, like it is better to play with Jill because like
Is this in the
one, she gets
remake? Is it in the
better.
remake or in the original?
I feel like both
Hmm.
because you have more interactions with Barry.
Right. Barry's more
Barry,
important to the storyline.
yeah, Barry is more important to the storyline.
Rebecca, like to be honest, is not like
No, she's kind of just there.
past one, she just disappears. Like,
Maybe in the remake, there's like little more there. I have no idea because I don't think I ever played with Chris all the way through, and even in the remake.
Chris was so boring. I always hated him. I always hated that he becomes the focal point. Maybe this is also why I hate five and six. Like he becomes the main character again,
Mhm.
and God, I hate those games.
Yeah,
Four ruined the series. I know
or
four
yeah,
was so
I
popular.
feel like I loved four at the time, but like
I don't even think I ever played all the way through four.
I
I
probably beat
hated
it
four. I hated
back in the day, but I would never play it. I didn't play it again because I was just like, I want my zombies back. Like,
You know what? This is the hot take here. Four is shit.
there you go.
Resident Evil 4 is
Hot
shit.
take.
There we go.
You hear that? You hear that?
Fight me.
IGN.
Fight
You
me.
hear that game?
The,
Spot.
the probably the most popular and best selling of Resident Evil games. Complete piece of shit.
Yeah,
Garbage.
and I
Trash
mean,
people play that
at
game.
the time, yeah, trash people.
Trash people like Resident Evil.
Uh, Plus, Leon is so weird. Like, goes from this like
I hate.
rookie,
Ugh.
like bright-eyed cop to
It's
like
such a shit storyline. Sorry,
super
I got to get
action.
this out there, and then we'll go back to Resident Evil 1 because I don't want to spend time on 4. It's such a shitty plot line too. It's like, oh, like this is totally early 2000s. Oh my God, like movies and culture and stuff. Oh my God, the president's daughter's been kidnapped. We gotta get Leon on the case.
Leon's on the case.
I
He
hate
was
that.
in that. He got out of that city.
Like, who cares about this? Like, okay, I would get if it was like Sherry or something like, or what was her name? Cheryl, Sherry? Is it Sherry? Cheryl?
Sherry, the daughter in
Birkin's daughter, who's infected with the G virus.
who's the daughter? Who's the president's daughter?
I don't
It's
know.
not Sherry,
Nobody
is it?
cares. Nobody cares. This is my point. Nobody cares about the president's daughter in this
They're both
stupid
blonde.
early 2000s plot line. It should have been like because uh after Resident Evil 3, they do a lot of the storylines of what are they up to? It's like that. It's like watching like the movie Miracle and then be like, "Oh, what are they up to today?" You know, the movie ends and then they're like talking about the bios of each person.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the bio for Leon is he takes Sherry under his wing and he's like trying to protect her. The U.S. government is like interested in her because I think they know that she's infected with the G virus and they want the G virus and as like a bioweapon. And and it should have Forrest should have stuck with that. It should have been like it should have been revolved around Sherry
Mm,
Birkin. Uh, but it's this stupid offshoot plot about he's working for the government. He's the man now. Leon is working for the man and he's trying to save the president's daughter. Nobody gives a shit about Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 sucks. Trash people play Resident Evil 4.
Also kind of weird because I feel like it's, I don't know, maybe not explicitly stated, but hinted at, like the US government essentially kind of working with Umbrella.
Well,
Like they're
doesn't
interested.
Umbrella get shut down at some point?
They do because of Raccoon City. But
Yeah,
like
right, right.
prior to that, like
Well, they were like
the
this.
US is interested in their bio research.
Right. They were this big like what were they? They were like this big like skincare product or something, right? Like what was the shit that they sold?
They're a pharmaceutical
Okay,
company.
okay, whatever. They're a pharmaceutical company, right? But like that was a what's a shell. Like that was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
shell
It's a
corporation.
front
It was a
for like
front
what the
to
real
hide what
work.
the real money maker was with bioweapons they were doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was okay.
Anyways, it's weird
One.
that Leon just like becomes this government agent when
I
like
hate
I don't
they
know.
ruin Leon. Resident Evil 4 sucks. Okay, so Resident Evil 1, you can play as Chris or Jill. Jill's the one you should play with.
She's also the master unlocking, so you gotta play with her.
Yeah, you gotta play as Jill. Um and I don't know, what were some of your favorite things about the game? Like what were your favorite moments? I don't want to go through the whole story because I feel like we've set the stage for that. There's not a lot that gets I mean like you could probably summarize the story pretty quickly. I mean they're in a mansion. They gotta
Figure
find
out like it's actually a research laboratory.
is there's an outbreak in the forest that
Hmm.
eventually creeps into the city. They were sent there to figure out what's going on.
Hmm.
They get stuck in this mansion. They got to find a way out. They eventually do find a way out. If you play it the right way, the people who make it out are Jill, Chris, and Barry. Like the ideal
Doesn't or maybe this is Chris's
and
ending.
Rebecca and Rebecca.
All right, someone needs to tell me what's canon because I in my head
Nikki.
Jill, yeah, Nick Cannon, drumline, whatever. In my head, Jill, Chris, Barry, Rebecca. Those are the people who make it out. But maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
that's right. That's right. I think that's the ideal ending. The ideal
But does
ending.
Barry die? My only question is, does Barry die or does he not
Okay,
die? I don't know. I'm not 100%
Barry
sure.
doesn't die because he comes back in 3 and he picks up Jill out of the city.
Oh, he
He's the
does?
one flying the helicopter to get Jill
Oh,
out of
okay.
the city.
Okay. He makes that.
Depending on and I you know what I didn't remember this from my childhood and in watching this guy who was talking about this guy goes we're going to put him in we're going to put him in the comments and link to his videos because he goes into extreme depths on these
Yeah.
games but he goes into the detail of depending on the choices you make in three, because there are moments where you can make choice A or choice B. Um, if you decide to jump off at one moment in the game, if you decide to jump off a bridge or push Nemesis off the bridge, you will get a different ending. The ideal canonical ending, from my understanding, is you jump off the bridge, which gets you the Barry ending. Barry picks you up in the helicopter. You, Carlos, and Jill fly off in a helicopter with Barry flying the helicopter.
Huh.
Anyways, Resident Evil 1, the Resident Evil 1, here's what is my not problem with Resident Evil 1, but why I'm not as drawn to it as maybe 2 and 3. I don't find the mansion a compelling setting for the game.
Mm.
Like I think you like it because
I mean,
you
one
love the
is
man
my
you love the atmosphere of
yeah.
1 and you love the
Yeah.
setting.
One remake is okay. Yeah, if we're gonna rank games, like that's my number one. But yeah, no, I love one. I mean, maybe I feel
It's
like
the original.
generally
It's
for
hard to
like
it's hard to trump the original.
for most games, I'm like, one establishes the universe for most games.
Right.
Like it's
It kicked off. I mean, honestly, I do believe this genre probably exists. The terminology of survival horror probably existed before Resident Evil. I don't quote me on that. But for
mhm,
us, that was horror gaming.
mhm.
Resident Evil was the apex of horror
Yeah,
gaming for us
yeah. It's
probably.
what kicked off, I think, the series. Like obviously, Silent Hill follows the same model, and
Right.
um, it's what really kicked off the horror game, I think, series. Or like, I want to see franchise isn't the right word. The horror game,
Um,
sorry, word. I don't know.
the
Genre.
genre of
Yeah,
horror gaming.
yeah.
Survival horror game because
But
there is and this is the other unique aspect of Resident Evil. It is a game, and this guy brings us up too. This YouTuber we watched. It is really a game about managing your resources.
yeah,
That was
exactly.
the terrifying element of, to be honest with you, that is what terrified me most about Resident Evil is running out of
Like
bullets.
running into a room and not having the right equipment.
Yeah, like oh, I used and even in these remakes, like I did play the RE2 remake a little bit, but it's like that gets instilled in you when you play when you play a Resident Evil game. It's like I need to conserve as much ammunition as I can because I don't know whatever next room I enter, I don't know what the enemies are going to be, and I don't know if it's that thing of like, and I experienced this with Final Fantasy too. We're not going to get into it, but if you skip the hard part, like if you use up your resources too soon, you're kind of screwed for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and um I never did this with Resident Evil 2, but there was the B track
Okay.
essentially
Yeah.
where like you could play through as like Leon and then you could essentially play Claire. Like once you get through the Leon campaign, if you play as Claire in the B track, you are following the opposite path of Leon. And
Mhm.
so if like on the A track, if you decide to take all the resources
Yeah,
in the
it would screw
entire like
Claire.
police department or whatever settings you are in, they're not going to be there for you if you when you play as Claire.
The playback like like not so much in one, but like but it is a factor for one. The value of Resident Evil was also like the amount of game you got. Like it's like, oh, you okay, we played through the game as Jill, but now we can play through it. Now it's like let's play it's a different experience to some
mhm.
degree. Let's play through it as Chris.
Yeah,
The people that you like Jill's sidekick is Barry. Chris's sidekick is Rebecca.
yeah,
And and it that kind of mirrors, I mean, they're not so much in 2 and 3, but like in 3 is only Jill.
yeah.
But like there was a lot of like the value of that game is you got for those days, you got more game than other
Yeah.
things that you might play because it's like, okay, I can now replay this game because there's things in this game that I have not yet experienced because I've not seen it from this other person's
Yeah, I
vantage
haven't
point.
played as the other character. And
Right.
that was like the thing of like two. It's like you could play as like Leon all the way through and then play as Claire all the way through, and then you could play their B like tracks.
Okay, so are we done with one? Do we want to get into
Do you want to
what
talk
what are we?
favorite parts of one or any memorable moments of one?
Okay, so memorable moments of one. Definitely the dogs bursting through the windows.
Yeah.
Like the first time you experienced Cerberus,
Hmm.
that was a key moment. Honestly, in all of these games for me, the highlight experience from a terrifying standpoint was encountering giant spiders.
Yeah, no, that was gonna say the same. Like especially in the remake of one when they looked so much realer.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember one time you walked through I remember us negotiating. You were like, "Okay, I'm going to walk through the door. You take the controller." This is the
yeah,
GameCube remake. You were so too scared and I was scared too. And I'm like, "I don't want to shoot this goddamn thing." And the terrifying thing about the R1 remake is the first room you walk into with spiders, it is literally
it's
above
like
you.
above you on the
You
ceiling.
walk
You
through the
like you
door
walk through
and it
the
is right there above you.
yeah, you well actually I think if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. You walk through the door, it seems like perfectly normal room. The
You
first
take a
step you
step
take
and then
when the
it's
camera angle
the camera angle
switches, you see
shoots
it's
the
like right
spider.
above you.
Yeah, those are terrifying. I remember you handed me the controller and I had to shoot it with a shotgun. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, those are. I mean, when the graphic fidelity became more real with the R1 remake, that was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. I remember them. I do remember them in Zero too. I think like they were like kind
Were
of like
they?
a greenish.
See, I did not play
I don't.
Zero at all.
I feel like they
I feel like
were.
with Zero, I watched you play Zero.
I feel like they were in Zero, and they had more of like a greenish hue to them. Like the spiders in Resident Evil 1 look like the kind of like the tarantulas you'll see,
They're like
like
black
the
and tan.
black and tan
Yeah.
tarantulas, like that you would,
But like terrifying. I mean, they
terrifying.
looked
Yes.
real as hell. Like
Um,
the R1, 1, 2, and 3, the original, like you kind of like you kind of were like this terrifying, but you're also like the graphics kind of suck. So like they don't look that real.
I will say the difference in from R1 to R2 is I think in R2, the original PS1, they're fixated. You see them in the sewers and they
Right.
only hang out in the ceiling
Well,
and
that's the
drop
thing
like
with
poison down on you.
yeah, with R2, like maybe this is why I liked R2 and R3. Like the spiders were less intimidating because they stuck to the ceilings. And
Hmm.
it was like you could literally with Leon or Claire in the sewer, because that's where you first encounter them when you're going underground, you could literally just run through that scene. Like you didn't even
Yeah.
really have to fight them.
Yeah.
And even if you did fight them, all you're doing is pointing up and shooting. Like they're not even like coming down on you. Um, so R1, okay, so dogs, the spiders are terrifying. I mean, like I'm trying to think of memorable moments from
The
one.
thing I remember the most, and this is me as a kid playing RE1,
The remake or the original?
kid, like his original. Like
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were
and
still
I
pretty
think
young when we
this
got
might
the
have been
original.
before the director's cut too. This might be like the original. I remember like I feel like I was running through I like as a kid, I couldn't figure out one of the puzzles or something. So I just was kind of like running around the mansion. And I almost feel like the game was punishing me because it's like, okay, like you're not advancing, so now I'm gonna throw this at you. I remember
Did
running through the hallway with the
uh-huh.
dogs burst through the windows, and there
Yeah.
being a giant spider in that room. It like threw me off guard because I was like, I ran through that room a million times,
Oh, interesting.
and I'd never encountered one there. And all of a sudden, there was one there, and I think I quit. Like I didn't play. I just hard quit. I hard stopped. I was like, nope,
Rage
fuck
quit,
that. I was
scare
the
quit.
game was like literally punishing me with the thing I feared the most about the game was the giant spiders. I was like, nope, not doing this. That's the thing I remember the most. I also remember hating Wesker, just his voice in both one
Well,
and the remake.
yeah, I mean the
It's like
acting is
terrible
pretty
laugh.
terrible.
Even in the remake, it's like kind of cringy.
Everything, all of I feel like 95% of the dialogue in one, even two and three, is like cringeworthy. I mean, like it really leans into that B film kind of like B
Yeah.
movie vibe.
I do also remember vividly remembering like the live action. I feel like when I was a kid playing the game, I thought it was cool,
Yeah.
the scene at
The
the beginning,
introduction. Yeah.
and then like revisiting the game as I think I did beat the game as
Hmm.
some as an adult. Like I did replay RE1 and like played all the way through. Um, but yeah, and like seeing it like revisiting that opening movie um for the original RE1 and being like, "Ooh, God, this is just terrible, awful." Like,
Right.
but like in the best campy kind of way, I guess.
Okay. Any other memorable scenes from one? Obviously,
Mm.
you're introduced to the Tyrant, which becomes a fixture of other games, like
Hmm.
adaptations of the Tyrant
Yeah, like Mr. X and
and
I guess
Nemesis.
Ne is Nemesis technically Tyrant or G Virus?
I don't know.
He's Tyrant because he had like Birkin was still working on the G Virus,
He
right?
definitely was like more advanced of a tyrant.
Yeah.
All right, well, so the first one ends with them killing Wesker lets we realize that Wesker, who is the captain of Stars, Alpha Team, he's not he has does not have good intentions. He's a bad guy.
That's
Um,
weird though too. Isn't like his like arc
well,
weird?
they talk about his time when
He's a
he
scientist who then becomes like
he's also really good at like shooting
an
maybe or like
army guy and then eventually like the leader of the stars.
well, I feel like that you can probably be explained with like Umbrella coercion because like
Yeah.
Umbrella's paying Brian Irons, who's the chief of police
Hmm.
in Raccoon. So they're like, hey, like it seems like based on like watching some RE lore on YouTube, it's like Stars is really started
So the
by
star is like technically funded by Umbrella.
it's a offshoot, it's a part of RPD, but it's its own entity that's privately funded.
Yeah, so it's probably like
So like, and that's how they get Wesker to be captain of Stars is because they want somebody on the inside.
mhm.
So Wesker's like a bad guy. He's a turncoat. He reveals himself to be really agent of Umbrella. And in his last ditch effort, when he's like found out, he lets out the Tyrant. And the Tyrant's sort of the last boss of not sort of, it is the last boss of RE1. You think in at the moment that Wesker's killed because the tyrant turns on him and
Mhm.
stabs him
Mhm.
with its big long claw thing. And I think originally that was probably the end of Wesker until the series kept going, and then like they brought him back in Veronica
Mhm.
because he was. You find out later when they create all this RE lore that he was a child who was indoctrinated by Umbrella, and he was one of the few that survived being infected with the progenitor, whatever the fuck that's called, with the that original virus that they
Mhm.
have.
He's progenitor. I might be wrong.
Progenitor. So he's like
Projector.
he's basically like one of Umbrella's child soldiers who
Mhm.
comes up and becomes a leader within the organization. Uh, he's one of the few. He might be the only one because I don't know of any other character that's like that. But like, he's they what William Birkin finds out that 10% of the populate of either the human population or I guess the human population is immune to the progenitor virus, and so like Wesker is one of that 10% who they abduct all these children and they bring them up in the umbrella system to eventually be like their soldiers or scientists, I guess both, because he's a scientist and a soldier. But like he was infected with the progenitor virus, and so at the time that he's killed in RE1, you think he's dead, but like he's got this regenerative ability, I guess.
So isn't he also like so I guess
He's like superhuman.
then he has the progenitor virus in him, but he also has now the T virus in him.
I
Isn't that when he becomes
guess.
like superhuman and
I don't know.
he's got those red glowing
That
eyes?
comes into play in Veronica, and then later in 5 and 6, and I hate those games. So,
Mm.
well, Veronica I never played, but I guess Veronica was supposedly a decent one. But okay, so they kill the tyrant. They escape with the helicopter. Barry, we think that it's Barry and
Mansion blows
Chris.
up.
Mansion blows up again. This happens a lot in RE games. Something blows up,
Yeah,
and people fly away in a helicopter. As they're like two key components of
it's
an
the
RE game.
cleansing flame.
Billy or not Billy. Fuck, that was so zero. What's his name? Barry.
Barry.
Barry, Jill, Chris, Rebecca. Rebecca's never to be heard from again. Like she just kind of disappears from the
Yeah,
series.
I haven't played like okay, so I haven't played 7 or 8, but like I'm assuming like she hasn't made a return yet. Also, there's a rumor that like Billy is eventually going to make a return too.
The guy from Zero.
Yeah, I thought like there was a rumor he was going to be
Does
in
he still
six.
have handcuffs on?
Oh my God, that wrist must
That
be
rip
hurting.
game though.
Um,
Okay.
I heard a rumor he was going to be in six when they were making six, and I don't think he ever was, but
Okay, so let's jump to two. So the events of Resident Evil happen. For a short period of time, Chris and Jill go back to their jobs as stars. And but by the time that by the time Leon and Claire get into Raccoon City, they're no longer Jill and Chris are no longer there.
they're supposedly, and I
Chris went
think
off to like
three convolutes this, but like I feel like there's a note you find in two where it's like Jill and Chris were supposedly going to like DC or something to
yeah,
try and like they
but
between
obviously
between one and two they have been trying to I think it's a couple months like maybe 3 months or so between the two games and they're trying
they're
to
trying to like
expose
call out
Umbrella
Umbrella for what
and
happened.
whatever they're trying isn't working and so they're going to go directly to government.
Somehow the leak hasn't yet like it seems like 3 months is a long time for the city to now get like infected.
I might be wrong about the time frame between the two games,
Well,
but I feel like
the thing with the two was
Jill definitely gets a haircut in between, that's for sure.
that's right.
Or
Uh,
does she? Did she always have short hair?
we don't know because she had that hat on in one.
Yeah. I feel like in the original one, she had a ponytail, and then in the I'm thinking about the character in like the movie, the intro movie. I think that actress had like a ponytail, but in the remake of one, like she has a shortcut,
Okay.
and in three, she has a short pop cut.
Okay. Well,
Anyways,
now that we covered Jill's
hairstyles.
hairstyle, um, so
She was
two,
rocking the Rachel.
so two in which Jill is not a part of. Leon drives in the city. He's all like hyped because it's going to be like he's going to start with RPD, which must be a big deal. Like we don't even know where he's coming from.
Mm.
And he's going into Raccoon City because he's going to join the RPD, which is the Raccoon City Police Department. Um, the it becomes obvious by the time he gets into town that the virus has spread throughout the city. So now it's become something that was contained into the mountains and the mansion, and it's now the virus is spreading.
I mean, by one, like the reason they go into the mountains is because it's starting to spill
Yeah,
off into the
but it
city.
seems like there's a lot of time that passes before the city becomes completely
Yeah, yeah,
infected,
yeah.
which is like it feels like it would have happened quicker than that. Um, and there's all these rumors about cannibals and yada yada yada. Okay, so Leon's joining the PD. He runs as he's coming into town, and he realizes everything's gone to shit. He randomly runs into Claire. Claire is coming out of a diner. He's like, "Get down!" He shoots this zombie that's behind
Takes
him.
a nice shot, shoots him in the head.
He's pointing his gun at her, and she's like, "Are you gonna shoot me?" And he's like, "Get down!" And then he shoots the zombie behind her.
You realize, like, because he's like shooting the other zombies and they're like not going down. He's like finally like, oh yeah, let me shoot this one in the head.
This time it'll work.
This time it's gonna work.
Um, they get together, they get in this cop car, they're driving. Eventually, it's like found out through the clip. the scene that there's a zombie in the back. They crash. There's
The
that
truck
truck that
that
comes through with an
the
infected guy
guy
driving.
earlier in like the intro scene gets
Why you
bitten
bite me?
by me. In the remake, he's eating a burger. It's like
Yeah,
super,
very trucky.
yeah, but it's like I feel like they threw it in there because like just to show off the graphics
Right.
of this like messy burger.
So they crash the police car. They end up crashing against the zombies in the back, but then the truck's also coming and it crashes into the police car. It blows up. It separates the two of them get out on different sides of the car. They're separated. And then Leon's like, all right, let's like, hey, you're over there. Like, shit's going down. We're separated. I can't help you.
Hmm.
There's a lot of fire. That would hurt me. Um, that would take my life bar down
Yeah,
to
his one
danger.
weakness, fire.
Um, and I don't have any first aid spray or green herb yet, so we need to get to the police station.
Yeah.
So basically most of the game happens within the police station. I mean, like, there's not a lot of difference between one and two. I mean, it's pretty much like there's two playable characters.
Interesting that the police station, much like the mansion, is like set up to be super puzzly.
Well, okay, so I was like gonna laugh about that too, like my joke about Spencer earlier. Apparently the police station in one of the YouTube videos I was like watching back is was a museum to begin with.
Oh, it does have a museum feel
It was like a
to it.
museum that gets basically it's like the same architect who created the mansion creates all of Raccoon City because there are just all these puzzles strewn about.
Hmm.
And unlike the mansion, which has like the shield keys, two is all centered around chess pieces. Like there were chess piece keys,
Hmm.
apparently. I don't remember this
Oh.
vividly, but that's what this person who did the playthrough remembers from playing the games. And I trust him more than myself because he's played this game more recently. Um, so most of the game happens in the station,
Hmm.
and Racing will get another beer. Ray, help me out.
Hold on, what are you talking about?
Well, Leon goes through the police building.
Hmm.
He eventually gets into the sewers.
Right.
When does he meet Ada before or after that?
When does he meet Ada? It's a good question. Now,
Um,
Ada, unlike Leon, starts off as a like secret agent badass.
right.
Um,
She doesn't re that does not get revealed until towards the end of the game.
but what is okay, when did they meet? That's a good question. I have no idea.
He
I
goes, okay, so I remember playing through the police part.
they
He's
don't
alone.
meet in the police station because I feel like she talks to that reporter who's in the cell or something.
Yeah, there's a reporter who locked himself in a cell,
Hmm.
um, because he thinks it's safe there, basically. Like
Yeah.
he's like locked himself in there to keep him, not to like keep him in, but to keep him away from everything else that's just crawling around.
Yeah.
Um, and regardless, Leon meets Ada at some point. Ada helps him throughout the process. He's going through the underground parts of Raccoon City slash like underneath the police department. Eventually they find this lab which is somewhere underneath the city. Like there's they're like in this where's the lab that's underneath the city?
Is there a lab? Oh, wait. Is that where Birkin is?
You have to fight the underground part of the game is where you're fighting
'Cause
Birkin.
that's how like the outbreak happens in Raccoon City is
Well,
like the rat.
the rats spread the disease. I don't remember a lot of two. I don't know why I don't remember a lot of two because I feel like
Neither.
two and three were the games that I liked the most. But to share some of my my guilt about that game is I was like rewatching this guy from YouTube playing through it, and he was talking about the canon, and canonically you're supposed to play through Claire A and then Leon A to get the right ending. Because in Leon A, you run into Sherry Birkin, but she's got the G virus around her neck in a
Hmm.
pendant. Whereas with Claire, it's she's infected with the virus. So like canonically, her being infected with the G virus is like why she becomes important, like to the government. Like eventually,
Well, Claire isn't infected with the G
no, no,
virus.
no, Birkin, Sherry
Sherry
Birkin,
is, okay.
Sherry. But in Leon's playthrough, Sherry's got the G virus around her neck, versus in
Mm,
Claire's playthrough, Sherry's actually infected with the
mm.
virus. Um, and I don't know. I don't remember a lot of two. I remember, okay, we walk through the streets, we go to the police station, we're underground, spiders, we run through that.
Giant alligator.
There's a giant alligator which you can kill very
Yeah,
easily.
you gotta wait till it picks up that
A
stupid
canister.
canister
If you don't
and
do
just
that, you
blow it.
basically die. I mean, like, is
I
there
feel
any way
like
to
you can
kill it
do that
besides?
in. I played a little bit of the remake. I feel like that happens in both the original and the remake in picking up that canister.
Okay. Okay. He's on the underground. Where does he go after that?
There happens to be like that. Isn't that train underground too?
Yes, like you fight. The game ends with them on a train leaving somewhere. God, I don't remember. I don't remember two enough. I don't remember enough about two. Him and Claire finally reunite. They're on a train leaving,
Hmm.
and the last like evolution of the Birkin monster uh, comes into the train. They have to blast him away. He falls back. The explosion happens. He's caught up in the explosion, and they escape through this train. Him, Sherry,
Yeah,
and Claire.
I feel like the train is like right under the city. I think it's in the sewers, if I
But there's
remember
some
correctly.
facility they're in
But you
underground.
take it to a facility, and then don't they take it to like exit the city
Well, I think
afterwards?
Spencer had it, and I feel like I watched this through the timeline. Spencer had expanded Umbrella's operations from just the Arklay Mountains. I think it's Arklay. Just the Arklay Mountains to into the city limits. And it's like everything's underground.
Hmm.
All of the because at some point Leon is inside of Umbrella Corporation territory. They're like underground inside of laboratory spaces, I feel like.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't remember enough of two, to be honest.
I don't
I will
either.
tell you this. I did not know. Like, I feel like as a kid, I played that game. I'm like, oh, I beat the game as Leon. Like, I'm done. I didn't realize you had to play through Leon 8 and Claire to get the real ending.
Yeah,
Like they both have a playthrough for you to get the final ending.
because if you play as Leon and
And then there's B
you reach the end of the game, you finally reunite with Claire, and like all of a sudden there's this little girl who's there. It's like
right.
she's just like random.
I just remember as a kid, like, and this is where like a part two comes in. Like, I don't remember Mr. T in that.
N- Yeah, well,
He
he
was
is
there, but like I don't remember encountering him.
in the remake.
He's just a
Um,
part of it in the remake.
yeah, in the original game, if you play the B side, he does essentially what he does in the remake is he like follows you around
Yeah, and I was like, so
the police
this
station.
gets into three. So like, what is there anything else we want to say about two? Because I feel like two is kind of two I liked because it expanded the universe to the
Two
city.
was interesting because it, I think, introduced um the mutations part of like, so like when you beat William for the first time, you don't really beat him. Like even though he's like lying on the ground dead, seemingly,
Right.
he then mutates again into like another form.
Right.
And I think like it introduces that aspect where like
Yeah.
the virus will mutate its host
Right.
again and again and again, which happens with the Nemesis in three too as well.
Right. Well, okay, so let's get into so two was unique because it's the cityscape. It had more replayability because you really had to play as the other character to get the full story.
Hmm.
And that was something like I'm watching this guy on YouTube and I'm like, I don't remember that. I'm
I
like,
honestly
I
don't remember
never did
anything of
that
it
as a
too.
kid. Like I just got through it and thought I beat the game. And
Yeah,
so like I didn't play the game like it was supposed to be played. And so I was kind of like, oh, I was sort of defeatist about that. I was like, oh, I didn't
I
really
never played the B-side parts. I do
I don't
remember.
even think I played the full A
I feel
scenario.
like I remember seeing Mr. X at one point in the game, but like
I never
never.
experienced him. And I remember watching back this old clip of two. He's going through two, and I'm like, wait, I thought Mr. X was only in the remake. I'm like, he was actually in the old two game, and I'm like, I never unlocked him
Mhm.
because I never like played. I just thought I played through as a character. I thought I won the game, and honestly, to be honest with you, with two, I was really only interested in playing as Leon. I didn't really have that much interest in playing as Claire.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it was reversed. Like
Yeah, Jill was
in
like
one,
who you want to play
I
with.
only would really only play as Jill, and then in two, I'd really only play as Leon.
Right. Okay, so two ends with them defeating the final version of they're on a train. They kill the final version of Birkin, whatever the fuck his name is. And they escape the city on this train, or did they get on a helicopter after that? I feel like I only
I feel
remember
like
them
they
being on a
escape on a
train.
train.
Yeah, they're on this like lift though. Like it's a train that's like going like in this like not a horizontal direction. It's like a they're going up on this train.
Is it? I feel like I remember a lift, but I feel
They're
like
going
it.
from the underground back up to the surface on this train. That's like this umbrella train lift thing. I don't know. I don't remember. Like I just remember that being the end of the game.
Mhm.
I don't remember how they got out of Raccoon City.
Yeah, I feel like it was a train that they got out on. But I honestly don't remember either.
Okay, so they kill, but we don't see the city exploding though. Like so transitioning to three, which takes place at the same time, before, at the same time, and after two. We Three is unique in the sense that it's the first entry in the Resident Evil series where we only have one character to play with,
Hmm.
and that's Jill Valentine. I think it's also unique in the sense that it's like the shortest.
It's different because it's more actiony. It's funny you get like all these
Yeah,
like big weapons to use in the game. I feel like at the beginning, like towards the beginning of the game, you get so many more weapons that you would typically not get until like the end of the other games.
right.
I remember vividly remember having that M like 16 or whatever. Um,
You get There are more zombies, and so you get weapons that are geared towards dealing with more enemies.
right.
Though there is still that feeling of needing to conserve resources, but like, and I was watching this YouTube guy who was going through the game. There were like things set in the this is the first RE game where there are things set in the environment where you're like expected to trigger to like kill big swaths of enemies. Like there are like gas canisters
Hmm.
set where you could like now if you're playing it for the first time and you've played other Resident Evil games, this has never been the case. But like if you wait at the right opportune moment, you can like shoot the canister and kill a bunch of enemies. Ray's gonna talk to his
I
wife
gotta
or
take
something.
this call. Hey, what's up?
Okay, we're back. Ray has a flux capacitor he's ordering,
Yep.
and also he talked to his wife.
Yes.
And now we're gonna wrap up three. So Resident Evil 3, we played as Jill. They take the a similar route. So like the game kind of operates in the same space as 2, except you see more of the city and you experience like the environment and the setting is more like it feels like it's more of an overrun place. Like it's more
Hmm.
overrun with zombies.
Right.
Um, than even 2 feels like. And you get access to weapons that are a little bit more like advanced to like a machine gun. You've never
Hmm.
well, I guess 2 you could unlock a machine gun at some point. I think if you
I think you get
played
like an Uzi or something into.
yeah, I feel like if you played through. enough, you got access to like an Uzi or some sort of like submachine gun. But like this is like I feel like the first one where you're like at some point
First
in the
time
game
you
you're
get like an
getting machine.
M16, like you're like getting military grade like weaponry.
And if we don't get to the ranking, here is why 3 is my favorite Resident Evil game. Because and this is also because I didn't experience Mr. X in 2 because I didn't play 2 the right way. Uh it's like the first game I remember being like never feeling safe because you are just constantly hunted and hounded by this enemy,
Yeah.
the Nemesis. The Nemesis is the all-time, oh my God, like character that I can remember in a game. Like Resident Evil 3 was the apex of horror to me because while it did feel a little more actiony, with the guns that you got access to and like the explosions you could create in the game, like with the gas canisters and stuff, things that were set in the environment. I was like, you never knew when this guy was going to show up.
Hmm.
I remember vividly walking through the police station in RE3, much like you do in RE2, and there's that staircase, and you walk by, and in the window, he bursts through the window and
Yeah.
he's in the police station with you now. And it's also like you would be like in the past you would avoid an enemy by going through a door or going up a staircase. And I vividly remember he bursts through the window and there's that staircase right by you and you hit that staircase and you get the animation of there was Resident Evil was famous for the animations of opening a door. You'd go in a new environment, you'd
Yeah.
open a door, you'd walk up a staircase. I vividly remember him bursting through that window, walking up the staircase, and being like, "Oh my God, thank God I hit the staircase. Like I'm gonna be rid of him." He could follow you.
Hmm.
He could follow you wherever you almost I see I remember in my mind him being able to now this guy disagrees and I haven't played it for years now, but like I thought I could remember him being even able to even break into safe spaces, like the like where you would save the game, like this where the
Yeah.
safes would be,
Right,
and
right.
you would have the ink ribbons and you would save the game. I thought he could break into those spaces too, but maybe he couldn't. But regardless, like you would go into a room, you would go upstairs. He could follow you into those places. And unlike Mr. X, who would like be slow and plodding, this guy ran with you.
Hmm.
He could chase
You could
you.
run and charge you. Yeah, I remember
I
that.
remember a friend of ours playing with us. I won't name his name, but a childhood friend of ours playing with us and us running around the statue. Like
Yeah.
he was literally, he could stride for stride run with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like the most terrifying thing because like I never experienced that regardless of a horror game in a Resident Evil game. It's like that broke all the rules of a Resident
Hmm.
Evil game. It's like oh, there's this character like literally like you went through that game and there was a character the storyline there was a character hunting you and you literally felt that this guy was hunting you throughout the game
Hmm.
except for the church part which of course like many enemies in medieval times they respected the churches.
Grazie, Patrick.
Grazie Padre. There's that scene where she gets infected with venom with the Nemesis's venom, and Carlos puts her in the church because he's gonna go find the antidote, and he says, "Don't worry, you're gonna be safe here in the church." And you're like, "Why am I gonna be safe here in this church? He can go anywhere."
Yeah.
And but he's a very devout Christian, so Grazie
Yes.
Padre, thank you to the Nemesis for recognizing the Catholic and or Christian faith.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing that I remember the most of Resident Evil 3 is having that enemy that is hounding you and is fast, like he can run with you.
Yeah, no, Nemesis for sure is like the focal point of three, and the most memorable thing of three. I honestly can't remember much of three other than it feeling a lot like two.
Well, it was interesting in the aspect of like and and you realize this when you get I mean, you realize this as you're walking through the police station, but you realize even more towards the end when you see like the dead corpse of I think William or like or it's another tyrant. Like it doesn't entirely make sense, but like there are scenes and things that happen in three where it's like, okay, this is mirroring two. Like it feels like you're walking through a scene from two.
Mm.
Definitely with the police station, definitely later on in the game. But that aspect of the Nemesis hounding the Stars team, stars.
Mm.
He just keeps saying stars.
Stars.
Um, like he was a new type of enemy that you had to deal with that you were not used to from having played other Resident Evil games. You were not used to being hounded by a character like that.
No, yeah, like a level of intelligence that the other ones didn't.
Even speed, like yes, you had Mr. X and 2, but like he would be slow and plodding. Like this guy's running up on you.
Yeah,
And I've not played the remake of 3, but like
me
I just
neither.
remember that being I remember 3 and maybe one of the reasons I like 3 so much too was like because it's it does for a Resident Evil game it does feel shorter. It's like you could get through that pretty quick. I feel like in a night you could get through the whole game.
Hmm. Yeah, it is a shorter game, isn't it? It did feel shorter too. Like that's the one thing I do remember about it. Um, I remember like it was the first game too where it like gave you the choice of
Well, that was the other great thing about 3 with
like
like
fighting Nemesis or not.
and the choices did make a difference.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was watching back some of the footage of it and trying to re-remember the game and like had you fought him like the first time the choice thing comes up is he approaches you outside RPD and he's killed Brad Vickers who was the pilot of the helicopter in RE1
Hmm.
who leaves you behind.
Just runs away.
Don't go.
Brad, where the hell's he going?
Great acting by Chris.
Hmm.
And he leaves you behind in game one, and somehow you don't hold it against him in RE3. Like she like totally doesn't hold him
Yeah.
against him
It
in
was
RE3.
still it's also just like still part of the team or
He's like totally cool. We love Brad. We love Brad. We
still
forgive
wearing that
Brad.
cutoff vest.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. Um, but he is a figure for like 5 minutes in RE3 because he's like the first person that gets killed by Nemesis. He's the one that kind of keys Jill into the fact that somebody's chasing them,
Hmm.
and you walk through the streets of Raccoon City. You reach the police station like they do in 2. You're there before, obviously before Leon and Claire, but that's when it triggers the first cutscene with the Nemesis, and it kills Brad, and you get that first. That's the first time where you get that not a freeze frame, but you get that slow screen that pops up and it's like it gives you two options. And this is the first time
Hmm.
in a Resident Evil game where you are it's sort of like a Goosebumps, like choose your own path. Like,
Hmm.
are you gonna go to page 58 or page 25? You know, it's like go to page 58 to do this, or it's
Isn't
a
the first time you see him like
it's also like it's
right
kind of
outside?
jarring because it's like if you don't make a decision quick enough, I think it chooses for you. There's a
Yeah.
default choice, I think, with each scenario. But like it's jarring as a player, especially if you played other Resident Evil games, because you're not used to having you're not used to be given a choice like that, and you're also like if you're you're also kind of like, well, this is definitely going to have an impact on the game in some way.
Hmm.
Like if I'm choosing path A or path B, depending on my choice, it's going to have some sort of impact on the game.
Hmm.
Apparently, if you play it on hard, like I think this only mattered if you played on hard, but because there were two choices to play on in 3, you could play easy or hard. But if you played the hard version and you defeated him, every time you defeated him, you could pick up parts from him to create a
It'd pick up
stronger,
like guns or
yeah,
something.
pieces to a gun.
Hmm.
So like I always felt when I remember playing it and being like, why wouldn't I avoid him? Like the first choice is to just avoid him and go into this police station,
Which is what I always
which
did.
is what I always did. But if like I didn't like now being older, like I was a kid then, being
Wasn't
older
it like
now.
a choice at one point in the game where you could like push him off like a bridge or something?
Well, so that's the thing. Like later on in the game, if you do that, you don't get the canonical ending. Like the or I don't know if canonical is the right word, but the most ideal ending of the game is that you, Jill, and Carlos, the mercenary who works for
Hmm.
Umbrella, get picked up by a helicopter that is flown by Barry, who
Hmm.
was from Resident Evil 1. Um, and so that's like the ideal ending of the game, and that doesn't happen unless you jump off the bridge instead of pushing him off.
Hmm.
So these choices do actually have an impact on the game, and like they do have like weight. And Resident Evil 3 is like the first game that I can remember where like a Resident Evil game where it is the first game where you had these kind of choices that you make. You path A or path B,
Yeah.
right? So, but that game ends very much like it does other Resident Evil games where they, like with one, they leave the setting on a helicopter, much like game one, and the city blows up.
Yeah.
Much like one with the mansion blows up.
Right.
And so they leave the setting, city blows up, they save the day. But my most memorable thing from three is, along with the enemy type, is the fact that you could like make a choice that would have a determination in the game, which you'd never experienced in Resident Evil before.
No, yeah, it's like, yeah, you can do the choose your own adventure kind of thing, like where you're either choosing to engage or like disengage or run past. But like, I guess as a kid, I never realized how much effect that had on the game. And yeah, again, like I would always run from the nemesis.
Oh yeah, I mean, most of the choices I made in the game were to avoid the nemesis, but I didn't realize at the time of playing it like the change that would have on the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so the game ends. You defeat the final version of the nemesis with the railgun. We're skipping through a lot of stuff that happens in three, but we've gone on long enough.
Yeah.
Um, you defeat the final version of Nemesis with the railgun. You have to lure it, you kind of have to lure it into the railgun. The railgun you activate it, it shoots him. You can either choose to end him or let him live, which
Hmm.
by letting him live, you're just letting him live long enough for the city to be bombed. Uh, I feel like the canonical way to do it is just have Jill shoot him with a magnum,
Yeah.
which is very Resident Evil-y. And and then from there they fly off, the city gets bombed, end the game. Um, so why don't we take turns ranking so let's rank 0, 1, 2, 3, forget 4. 1, 2, 3, and 0. In
Uh,
what order would you rank these from best to worst?
to me, it's one remake, zero,
I knew you were gonna say that. Because those are the
probably
two that you played the most.
one, two, and three.
I would probably go with three, 3, 2, one remake, 0.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're gonna wrap up here. Resident Evil was a deep, deep part of our childhood.
Well, wait, did you give your rankings?
Well, I did. It was,
Okay.
but just to repeat, it was three,
Three.
2. I'm not including the remakes here. I mean, like RE1, I'll include the remake, but 3, 2, RE1 remake, 0. That ends our discussion of Resident Evil. It was a big
That's it.
part of our childhood. It shaped who we were as people. It shaped what we thought about what was possible with horror in
Hmm.
gaming. Uh, Join us next time, if there is a next time.
There's next time.
Uh, and Bob has decided that we're going to talk about Dragon Ball Z, but I don't know that Ray
Oh.
agrees with that. If we're going to stick with our childhoods in episode 3, I feel like we should talk about Resident Evil, or we should talk about Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z was a big part of our childhood.
Only
Nami,
only from the beginning to the Frieza saga, because everything sucks
but
after
like
that.
not like Dragon Ball before, like when he was a kid.
No,
I'm
just
talking about
Z.
like
We're talking
adult.
with
Yeah.
Z with what's the first enemy? Begins with an R.
His brother Raditz.
Raditz.
Okay.
Raditz through Frieza.
Raditz through Frieza.
Join us next time.
Join us next time.
We'll see you then. This has been
Cheers.
Split Podcast, a Split Personalities. It's a podcast.
It's a podcast. Like and subscribe.
We're talking into the
Noble
mic.
Beast sponsor us.
We're looking for a brewery to
I
sponsor us.
sneeze. This is what I do when I sneeze. I just put my shirt over my nose.
Great.
Contain it.